Happy noontime, everybody. This is Judy Tuttle from Tuttle Up Stamping. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Midland, Texas, and I'm very excited to be with you tonight. Today, I just returned from a 6-day trip to Playa del Carmen, Mexico, where we got to stay at Xcaret Resort. It was part of an incentive trip that you guys out there helped me earn last year. And it was the trip of a lifetime, just so much fun. And I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart for helping me get to Mexico last year. The next trip we're working on is a trip to Disney World in Orlando, where we get to stay at the Grand Floridian Resort there. And you guys are helping me get there. Every time you place an order, every time you come to a class, when you join my team, all of those are things that help me achieve big goals. One of the things I loved the most about being in Mexico last week was just hanging out with these incredible women that work so hard in their businesses to make things happen, and just listen to their ideas, and we network and we share, and getting to sit beside some rock stars that just do incredible things every day, and just so humbled that I even get to be there with them is just such a humbling experience. So thank you all for helping me get there and helping me be a part of that. And I just hope that translates into me being able to give all of you more types of classes, more information, more deals and specials, and ways that I can help you build your creativity, this creativity that I love. And I hope that translates into something you love. So thank you so much for helping me get to Mexico. I'm going to go over here and make sure that you guys can see me on the computer screen. And then we'll get started with today's Facebook Live. So here we go. All right. So first things first, I'm going to turn my camera down and around and let you see what I see in front of me right here. So let me go like that, flip it down. Hopefully everything looks all right in the camera to you. Nope, looks like I still need to hit that button right there. Okay, so here we go. I would be remiss if I did not talk about our May starter special. Stampin' Us does starter specials about 3 times a year. We did one during celebration. We're doing one right now in May, and we'll probably do one more before the end of the year. This starter special is incredible. I don't know if I've ever seen one that gives you this much value. So the normal price for the starter kit is $99, and you get $125 worth of any product you want. But for May, they're throwing in an $82 bonus of all 5 new ink color stamp pads, an ink color paper pack, the new Ink Colors Designer Series paper pack that is 6x6, and the 5 markers that coordinate with all of those things. So this is an $82 value. That is on top of the $125 that you already get. So you're getting about, if I can do my math, like $206, $7, $8, something like that, dollars worth of product for only $99. I would love to have you on my team. And the reason I talk about this is not because I just want it all for myself. It really is the best deal for anyone who likes to buy Stampin' Up. And forever, as long as you want, you can get a 20% discount off your orders. What happens if you don't meet the $300 every 3 months quota that doesn't even start for you guys if you join now until October? You have until end of October to reach that first $300 threshold. you just go back to being my customer. I had a lady, sweet Melissa, who's been watching my Facebook Lives, join on May the 1st. She's been buying a lot, and I just reached out to her and I said, listen, if you're setting up a craft room, you really need to get the starter kit special just so you can get the 20% off. I don't expect anybody on my team to do what I do. What I do is unique. You do you. If you just want to get in and get that 20% discount for a little bit and then shoot your way out, that's fine. I'm always happy to keep you as a customer as well. So this only goes from until May the 31st, okay? So if you have any questions about that, I'm happy to answer those questions. I love my team, and they just honor me every day by being on my team, okay? All right, so today's cards, I can now show you inside the annual catalog, which is really exciting. This catalog went live last week on Wednesday. The beginning of the catalog, they kind of have it set up a little differently, is all about how to get started with crafting. So we have our kits, which is always the easiest way to get started, right? Everything comes in the kit. It's all inclusive. Some of them involve stamping, some of them don't. So fun kit ideas. Paper Pumpkin is our monthly subscription service where you get a really awesome box in the mail every month, and you can skip a month or continue a month or however you want to do it. The beginning of the catalog with our kits and everything else is just trying to educate you on how to get started. Easy ways to get started with cards and envelopes, that sort of thing. They even give you examples of how you can mix and match those things. So that is really intended for the beginning stamper. They give you some card layout ideas. They kind of tell you how to put some cards together. That's really awesome. So the beginning of the catalog is really just trying to educate new stampers on how to get started, okay? What I'm using today is this beautiful Frames and Florals Designer Series paper. You get 6 pages of 12 by 12 paper, and then you get these little die cut packs, and you get some like frames that are already, you know, there for you to easy cut out and put cards together. So this paper pack that I'm using today is part of the easy section of our catalog. I love this paper so much. I love the colors. I love the petal pink and the pumpkin pie, Lost Lagoon, granny apple green, garden green. All those colors are in that paper, and I love it so much. But when I saw this stamp set back here, which is the one we're going to be using today, this one that's called You Are Beautiful, I just thought these leaves really coordinate well with this paper. Don't you think so? So I'm putting these two things together today. I'm putting the Frames and Flowers Designer Series paper. Hi, Mary, I've missed you. Hi, Cindy, I've missed you. Gosh, being off for a week, I just feel like I don't get to see all my peeps and talk to them. It's really, I know, I was in Mexico, so I can't complain, but I did miss you guys. So You Are Beautiful is the stamp set that we're going to be using today in coordination with the Frames and Flowers 12 by 12 Designer Series paper pack. And you know, you guys may or may not know that we recently acquired a lot of the close to my heart demonstrators and some products from their business. So if you're a scrapbooker, you're going to notice going forward that we are going to start including a lot more things in the scrapbooking department than we ever have before, which is really exciting. So look at these papers, you guys. Hi, Jen. Thanks for watching. How beautiful is this? I love the colors. I love the pops of petal pink and pumpkin pie in that. The back side is this cute little dot. Here's another Designer Series paper, more leafy, right? And the back side is just a pretty peacock kind of wash there. Or maybe that's Lost Lagoon. That looks more like Lost Lagoon. And then the third 12 by 12 piece of Designer Series paper is this, a little more less busy, right? And then the back side is this pretty peacock kind of herringbone kind of stitch on there. And then the cool thing is that, thank you, we did have a wonderful time. It took us a while to get there because stupid airlines, I'm not going to mention the one I flew on in case anybody here works for them, but we sat here in Midland at the airport from 6 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon waiting for our plane, which in the very long run of a very long story made us miss the final possible plane to get out on Monday. So I was supposed to be in Cancun Monday morning, and we didn't get there till Tuesday morning. So we lost a day of vacation, which kind of stunk, but you know, once we got there, it was awesome. So look at all these little pre-die cut pieces. We're going to be using these today. So fun. They are easy for easy cards. That's why they're in that easy section of the catalog, but also great for scrapbooking, right? And then you get these already pre-cut frames here, hence the Frames and Flowers, the name of the paper, that you could easily pop out and just add to a card or a scrapbook page, whatever you wanted. So, anyway, yeah, that airline is going to get not a nice letter from my husband, who's the nicest man in the world, because he just felt so bad that I worked so hard to earn this trip, and they basically stole a day of my vacation, hard-earned vacation, away from me. So anyway, he's going to write him a little letter. So isn't this paper beautiful? Too much about me and my sad sack vacation, but I hope you guys really fall in love with this paper the way I did. The pre-cut die pieces are awesome. Hi, Carol. Thanks for joining me today. So, I've got 3 cards to show you today, and here's that You Are Beautiful stamp set that we're going to be using. This leaf coordinates really well with those Frames and Flowers, but I love the sentiment, and this is somebody's, I want to give them credit here, $1 million stamp set. Let me look and see who it was. Margaret Van Villay. Margaret Van Villay. I do not know her. So I don't even know if she's an American stamper or not, but this is the $1 million stamp set that she designed. I love the sentiments, right? You are a shining light. You make today amazing. A scripture. You guys know I love that. You are beautiful. And then this large leaf, and then this small little leaf with some berries on it. So we're going to be using every single stamp in that stamp set today. Okay, so you guys have told me you would like to see the cards before I get started on them, what the final result is going to be. So here is our first card for today. And you guys, this is so simple. Isn't it so pretty? You're going to love it. And here's the inside. So the outside says, make today amazing. You are a shining light. So this would be a great card for someone leaving for college or getting a new job or even going in for an interview, maybe just to, you know, give them some encouragement. And I love that. I love this die cut. And so I'm going to show you how simple it is to put this together using the Frames and Florals stamp set. So Frames and Floral paper and the So Beautiful stamp set. So I'm starting with a piece of Lost Lagoon. I cut it 4 1/4 by 11 and scored it at 5 1/2. So this card is going to open this way. The final size of this card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's called an A1 card size. Okay, so there we go. Lost Lagoon. I'm going to put that right there. Next, I have 2 pieces of Designer Series paper. Cut 3 by 4, and this one is actually the back side of this one. So you know they're going to coordinate together, right? So I'm going to use the leafy pattern right here at the bottom of my card front. Yes, Jen, I want you with me on the next trip. You would have a blast. Your family would love it. And it's just so fun just to be with people that you have admired for years and get to talk to them face to face. And sometimes I have a little fangirl stuff going on too. So, all right. So I just put that at the very bottom of this card front right there. I know you are. And then I have another piece of 3x4 that was the back side of that. And I'm actually just going to adhere this to a, here we go. There's my sticky, a pretty petal pink cardstock. You know, it all coordinates. They tell us that. It's cut 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So just a 1/4 inch bigger length and width than the DSP that I'm putting on the front. Okay. So I'm just going to add this to that panel. Just gives it a little frame, a little distinction in color from the card base. And I'm going to put that right there on top. Okay. Then we have some new ribbon, y'all, and you know, as much as I love that white with the silver edge ribbon, oh my gosh, this ribbon is so pretty. Look at the iridescent color in that. This is called iridescent striped trim. It's white with some glimmer to it. I hope you guys can see that. And I'm going to wrap that around this panel right here and tie it over here on the left-hand side. So did you guys catch my Facebook Live last 2 Thursdays ago, the Tuttle's Thursday tip on how to tie a bow? I'm going to do it again right now on this panel. Right over left in a V. Take the top underneath, pull in 2 perpendicular lines right like that. Put your thumb on the knot, lift up from the bottom, around to the left, and push the loop in the hole. There we go. And you have a perfect bow every time. Okay? Now, that does not mean that you don't have to sometimes twist and get it, you know, straightened out a little bit, but you will get a bow that is delightful, right like that. Okay? So I'm going to cut these edges off. Right there, the ends. And now I'm just going to pop this baby up right here. Already gorgeous, right? I feel like you could just say happy birthday at the top and that would be all you needed really, because they do all the work for us. All right, so I'm going to grab some dimensionals and put them on the back here. So if you're interested in getting a card kit to go, I just want you to know, your die cuts may be a little different than mine, but they will all look beautiful because you only get 2 of the same one in a package of paper. So if you want to make yours exactly like mine, I recommend you buy the paper. I can send you the kit with the die cuts that I will provide for you, but you might prefer to use your own. So this paper is $10. That's all it is. And look how beautiful this turns out, right like that. Okay. Then I have already punched a die cut from one of those die cut sheets. And this one is leaves with all those colors in it. Now I want you to see it's a little different than this one with the flowers, right? Because I only got one of those. So I'm going to, well, actually I got 2, but I just wanted to show you that it was equally as beautiful with a another die from that die as well. And so I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this right here. And then I'm just going to slip this right underneath that ribbon here on the front of this panel right here. Isn't that pretty? I love that. Okay, now I have a piece of basic white that is cut 7 1/8 inch wide. And it's about 4 inches long, but we're not gonna need all 4 inches. I just made it extra long just in case we wanted to. I'm gonna get my stamp that says Make Today Amazing. Bring in that Lost Lagoon. Ink it up with Lost Lagoon. Stamp it right in the center of that little panel right there. Isn't that pretty? And then I have a punch. And you know, I should have double checked, but this is the Banner Pick-a-Punch. Maybe somebody can check for me. I'm not 100% sure this made it through the cut of the last catalog. I hope it did. Not that these banners are hard to cut, you know, anyway, but sometimes it's nice just to have a punch to do it for you. So I was afraid of that too, Jen, but I could have done that by hand. I just chose not to. Okay, so I'm going to make Today Amazing, and I'm going to put a dimensional on this end, and I'm just going to grab my seal here and put flat right here, because this end is going to overlap with the flowers that are already popped up, but this end needs to be popped up. So how pretty is this? Isn't this pretty? I love this card. And it's so simple. So basically, that is it for the front of the card, except that we're going to add some new gems. Look how pretty these are. Coordinate so well with that new striped iridescent ribbon. And these are called iridescent faceted gems. Look at the sparkle on those. Aren't those fun? And I'm going to grab some of these dots. I'm going to put one right up here. I'm going to take another large one and put it on my label right here. Or I could have put it at the top, it doesn't matter. And then another smaller one is going to go right down here at the bottom. So, so pretty. Okay, now lastly, the inside of the card is a strip of that designer series paper. This is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch panel, and then I cut just a 1/2 inch strip, 1/2 inch by 4 of that same DSP, and we could easily use either side of this, but I've decided I'm going to use the floral side, kind of pop that floral that's on the front. You know, I always like to bring in the outside to the inside, right? I better do it this way here. I used liquid glue because I wanted this right along that edge right there. Liquid glue helps me move it around just a tiny bit. And then I'm going to stamp right here in this corner the words, you are beautiful. Nope, you're a shining light. That's what I want to say. I'm going to go back to that Lost Lagoon ink. There we go. So pretty. Isn't that font so pretty? I just love it. Now it looks like my DSP is wanting to go a little bit off the edge here, so I'm just going to trim that off with my shears. Pop this on the inside of my card. And my first card is done for today. That is card number 1. There we go. Hope you guys love it as much as I do. Super simple, right? Took no time at all to put that together. And you could easily mix and match. Look how I used 2 different little die cuts on that, but how pretty they both turned out. I love them both, okay? So that's card number 1. Let me put that away. Grab all these stickies and toss them out from that card, and then I will be ready to go with my second card. Now on all of these cards, I am using the same ribbon and the same embellishments, okay? So this is my card number 2. Isn't that so pretty? I'm using Petal Pink as my background. This strip actually came from one of those die cut pieces on the frames page. And then this is the inside. Isn't that so pretty? Okay, so let's put this card together. We're gonna use a Petal Pink card base that is cut 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. Let me pull this out. And I'm gonna go right to this large leafy image and some Petal Pink ink. I'm using a tone-on-tone is what they call it. Stamp and ink pad. I'm gonna ink this up with Petal Pink. And I'm just gonna go around these edges, stamping that large leafy image. So pretty. This is one of those distinctive stamps, right? Where you get lots of detail in the stamped image. See how there's some lighter and darker areas? I love that. Probably one of my favorite types of stamps to work with. There's my last one. So I'm kind of creating a frame, center point on this card by using this large leafy image right there. Okay, so pretty, right? Put that away for a second. Then this piece, let's see if I can find the sheet and show you, actually came from the center of this panel. Let me grab it for you here. That has all the frames on it here, right here. My dies are going everywhere. Right here. So this was the centerpiece right down the center of this piece of designer series paper that has all the different frames on it, okay? It was just and so I just cut it down to 5.5, and I'm just gonna adhere it right down the center of my card front right here. I really love that these are so quick and easy to put together. Okay, there we go. Now, I have cut from the Countryside Inn dies the octagon frame that is 2 3/8 inch wide and 4 inches long, okay, out of basic white. And I'm going to grab that large stamp that says Trust in the Lord, and I'm going to stamp this in Granny Apple Green, okay? So, trust in the Lord with all your heart. He will direct your path. Sometimes easier read and said out loud than done, right? Sometimes it's hard when you're going through a hard time to trust God's providence for your life. But I do love that stamp set, and it's a nice encouragement, right, to people who need to hear that message. So that I just stamped that in Granny Apple Green. And then I have this die here that is kind of a bow, and I'm just going to adhere that right here to the bottom of that label, okay? So I'm just going to add some glue right here, kind of to the top edge only, and that's going to help me with the liquid glue. Just make sure that I've got everything straight and kind of where I want it, right there. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to pop this up in the front of my card base. Put one down there with the flowers and one right here in the middle. Yeah, you know, Jen, you know, people sometimes say, I have trouble using all my DSP. Man, use it. Like, cut it up. If you have little pieces left, cut it into strips. There's lots of fun fold cards out there that use a large amount of designer series paper. So So fun. And this would make a great scrapbooking page too, wouldn't it? How pretty is that? All right, now this time I'm going to grab my ribbon and I'm going to do the second way I showed you to tie a bow on my Facebook Live a couple weeks ago. We're going to make a loop, short end in the front, grab the long end, go around to the left, and then press it into the hole and pull. If it looks like it's getting too short on you, adjust and pull. Adjust and pull. And then I pull it super tight so it'll stay in place. Adjust those loops about the size that I want them. And you know, you remember me saying I don't use apparatuses to tie my bows. I'm kind of old school. I've seen people make beautiful bows that way, and if that's who you are, go for it. I just don't like having to look for a tool when I'm ready to make a bow. I just have learned to make them without it. Oops, should have done that a little more at a diagonal. There we go. And now I'm gonna add a glue dot to the back side of this. There we go, right there. Now, for the inside of the card, I'm going to add some embellishments in a second, so don't worry, I'll get those on there. For the inside of the card, I have a 4 by 5 1/4 card base. I'm grabbing another one of those die cuts from the DSP, and it doesn't have to be the same one that I used on my other card, right? They mix and match beautifully together. So this one is going to go right here on this side. Hi, Sherry. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to have it right here on this side. Nice to have you here today. I'm going to put it right there. So pretty. I've cut a piece of that designer series paper to 1/2 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to add it here to the bottom of that inside panel. So pretty, isn't it? The colors are just so lovely. And I'm going to stamp on this. And on the inside, I'm stamping, make today amazing. So when you trust in the Lord and believe His direction for your life, you can make today amazing because you know He's got you, right? Just always a comfort to have that hope, right? All right, so make today amazing. I'm going to stamp that in Granny Apple Green. I'm going to stamp it right here. Lovely. Add that to the inside of my card base. I might actually, I shouldn't say this too soon, get through a whole video without my glue getting clogged and me having to unclog it. So I'm putting it right here, right inside, equal kind of distance all the way. Isn't that lovely? I love this card. And then I'm going to go back to those embellishments, the iridescent faceted gems, and I'm going to sprinkle these around the front of my card. And there's no rhyme or reason. The only rhyme or reason is they recommend that you use an odd number. And but I have to say, sometimes I have, where do I want that? Let's put it right there. Not always followed that rule either. So there we go. There's card number 2. Do you guys love that? Isn't it pretty? I really like it a lot. So that's card number 2. Let me clean up from that. And the third card is kind of a fun fold. I think you guys will love it. Adds a little bit more skill to the making of the card, but still not so hard with all these beautiful die cuts and everything. Okay, so the last card we're making today is a gatefold card, is what I think they call it. 2-panel gatefold card. And I've got a little new little technique to show today, but it says make today amazing, and you undo the ribbon right here and it opens up your beautiful. Isn't that pretty? This paper is just so stunning. I love it. And when you have beautiful papers like Stampin' Up! Makes, it makes it really easy to make stunning cards. They take the work out of it for you. And this would make a stunning scrapbook as well, I think. So pretty. Okay, so there's the last card that we're going to make today. I'll show you, Sherry, at the end what the first, I'll show all the cards again at the end. So no worries. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so here we go. Here's all my pieces here. Put these aside. We're going to start with a piece of garden green. It's cut 5.5 by 8.5, and then I scored it at 1 1/8 and 6 3/8. That's going to give us, I said that wrong, 2 1/8 from this end, and then a 6 3/8 here. That's going to give us a 2 1/8 inch panel on either side, okay? And we're going to grab our bone folder, make sure we get all of that shored up really well, get a nice crease on it on both sides. And for this card, we're going to start with the inside first, okay? Because we're going to close everything up and tie it with the ribbon. So I have 2 panels here. Well, let's talk about our petal pink. I have 3 panels of petal pink. One of them is cut 4 by 5 1/4. It's going to go on the inside. And then I have 2 that are cut 2 by 5 1/4, and those are going to go on those outside. Okay, I'm going to put that aside for just a second. Then I have a basic white panel that is cut 3 by 7/8 by 5 1/8. Okay, and we're going to do a little different technique with this. And I've decided that I'm going to use Lost Lagoon on this one. I just want to see the difference between the two. And we're going to do the marker to stamp method. So I'm going to take the brush end of my Marvelous marker, and this time I'm using Lost Lagoon. On the card I showed you, I used Garden Green, but I just want to see which one we like better. So I'm coloring the leaves in Lost Lagoon on this one, okay? And then the stem down here is going to be Lost Lagoon as well. So I'm just taking the side of my brush and putting that ink, that marker ink, right to the stamp. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my pumpkin pie. Using that brush tip, I'm going to do the berries, and then I'm going to huff on it, and it's going to add some moisture. And I'm just going to stamp it right onto the card right there. Pretty, huh? We're going to do that 3 times. So I'm going to add pumpkin pie to the berries again. And I'm going to add with my brush tip of my Lost Lagoon to the leaves. And it allows you to add 2 colors to your stamp without having to mask anything off before stamping, all of that stuff. So I'm going to huff. And I'm going to stamp. There we go. And I'm going to do it one more time. Ink it up. There we go. Add some pumpkin pie on those berries. And huff and stamp. There we go. Right along the edge, right there. I'm going to add this to that petal pink panel. And then adhere this whole thing to the inside of the card. Have you guys ever done that marker to ink, stamp pad technique? I haven't done it in a while, but I've just felt like this one just really called for it. Nice way to get those berries the color that we want them to be. Then this is going to go right inside, right there. Pretty, huh? And then I forget what I put on the inside. What sentiment? You are beautiful. So let me grab that. And I'm going to stamp that in garden green. There we go. You're beautiful. So pretty. Okay, now let's work on the outside of the card. Turn these panels in. I have 2 pieces of petal pink cut 2 by 5 1/4, and I have 2 pieces of DSP cut 5 1/8 by 1 7/8. Okay, and I'm going to layer these on top of these petal pink panels, right like that, and then I'm going to adhere them to each side of the front of my card. There we go. So one of the things I loved doing while we were in Mexico is we took a ferry over to an island that had a little more beach to it. Our resort was lovely, but no beach per se. It's kind of on a rockier area. Lots of cool caves and those kinds of things. But we took a ferry over to the Isle of the Women, but it's in Spanish. So, you know, my Spanish is terrible. I speak Spanish like a white woman who knows English. So, with all that said, we found a nice little beautiful public beach with beautiful waters and spent the day just sitting by the seaside, which is really my soul language. When I was growing up, my dad was stationed in Hawaii in the Air Force. We lived very close to the beach, and I just loved the sound of the ocean and being near the ocean. And yet, I live in Midland, Texas, in the desert. Oh my gosh. So, anyway, we enjoyed a day at the beach, and we had a man there, my friend Rick, tipped him well, and he took very good care of us all day long, and that was just a beautiful day. Okay, so there are my 2 panels. Okay, isn't that pretty? I love that. And most of the rest of the time we spent by the pool. We went to this party one night that was way out of all of our comfort zone. It was a gondola party on a river, and it was a dinner party, and it was fun, but we decided we probably would never do it again. We went because I wanted to do some dancing, but all the songs were in Spanish, and we don't really know how to dance to the Mexican music, but we did our best. But lots of tequila flowing. I'm like totally shocked how much tequila some people can drink and still stand up afterwards. But our group mostly drank pop and water, and the food was just okay. And lucky for us, okay, so I'm going to tie this bow around, and that's going to help hold these panels down, okay? So same ribbon as before, same method of tying a bow that I always use, but they were nice enough to put us on a boat with other English-speaking people, but it was a wedding party, and they were a little bit crazy. They drank lots and lots and lots of tequila, and we were just like, oh, I don't know how they'll walk off this boat, but they did, and we saw them the next day, and they seemed just fine. So, wow. I don't know how people do that, but I guess if you do it enough, you get used to it, right? All right, so cutting the tails off here, that's, you can tell it's kind of holding my card shut, okay? If you wanted to, and maybe I'll do that here, you could add a little bit of Seal Plus, kind of underneath it. Where did I put that? Here it is. Underneath this ribbon right here to kind of hold it in place a little bit. You don't have to, but it does help, I think, when you're putting the card together. Okay, so I got another die cut frame, and I want you to see that this one is totally different than this one. This is more squared shaped. This one was more circle shaped. But I've cut a stitched circle, 3-inch diameter, from the Stylish Labels dies, which you guys know is one of my favorites. And I'm just using this to add support here to the back of this frame. So it gives, this is the width of a regular Designer Series paper. So the circle just gives it a little more stability. So I'm going to add some seal right here in the middle and then attach it to the circle. So if you're thinking about joining a team, I've added 2 team members this last week. And I would love to chat with you about that, because it's really, both ladies joined because they wanted to save money, get the 20% off, and get this great deal on the starter kit, right? Okay, so different die label, but it's going to be equally as beautiful. Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back side of this one. I would love that, Jen. Buzz me up. I'm having a new catalog launch this week on Thursday. Ladies coming to make some cards with the new ink colors and to see my swaps and things that I got from all of the different suites in the catalog. And they can win some, oh, you know what? Stop. Don't pay attention to what I just did. I needed to put these dimensionals only on one side right here because I don't want to close that card front shut. That's why I shouldn't be talking while I'm stamping. I make dumb mistakes like that. Okay, so there we go. They're all on that side now. I can add this label and that card will still open. Okay, now I have cut a circle. A 2 3/4 inch diameter stitched circle from the Stylish Shapes. And I'm going to do on this circle the same thing that I did on the inside of my card. Okay, remember we bring the outside to the inside. And my computer keeps stopping, but I can tell that you guys are still there because you're commenting. And I'm going to do the brush technique again. So I'm brushing on the Lost Lagoon ink here to the leaves and the stems. There we go. And then I'm going to add that pumpkin pie to the berries. Remember, you huff on it. That helps moisten it back up. And there we go. There's our little circle label. We're going to put that right here in the center. I'm going to use some dimensionals on that as well. Right? How pretty is that? I just love the colors. I think the colors are what really speaks to me in that. And then, I think I've cut this too wide, but I'm going to cut it down. You need a 1/2 inch strip of basic white. I'm going to use my little tiny desktop trimmer here. There we go. Got a little glue on my safety thing right there. I need to wipe off so that it doesn't stick. And I'm going to stamp, Make Today Amazing. But before I do that, I'm going to clean it from the last time I stamped, right? All right. I'm going to use the garden green again. So what has caught your eye in the new catalog? I definitely love the Mediterranean suite. We're going to be doing some fun stuff with that for sure. There we go, stamping it right inside that 1/2 inch strip of basic white. And then I'm going to cut the ends at a diagonal. There we go. I'm going to add small dimensionals, minis, to the ends of this. I know, it is so pretty. Birdhouses. Kay likes the birdhouses. I have those, Kay. I can do a class on that. I even got a couple of swaps that were fun with that. Okay, so this is going to go right here, a little further down. I don't want to cover up the berries. There we go. Make Today Amazing. And then I'm going to add some of those beautiful faceted gems. I'm going to put one right here on the focal point. I'm going to put another one or two up here in this corner. And then another couple down here. Just add lots of shimmery iridescent sparkle to the card front. So there we go. Now tell me, which leaves do you like better? Both of these colors were in the card. This one I used Lost Lagoon, and this one I used Garden Green. So I don't know. Which one do you like better? And I used 2 different dies here, right? And you can tell both of them look just as beautiful on the card. So you can mix and match those up and kind of do what you want. Here is card number 3. Let me get these things out of the way. This was, maybe I should put them in this order right here. Boop. Okay, card number 3. This was card number 2. So pretty, right? And then card number 1. Super simple, equally as beautiful. Make Today Amazing. So, if you would like a card kit to make these cards, like I said, I will get that out to you. Everything will be cut. But I'm going to have to substitute some of these dies. You may not get exactly the same dies that I'm showing here because only so many of them come in on a page, right? So I would recommend that you buy the Designer Series paper if you want this kit to go, and the stamp set, and the ribbon and embellishments. And then you'll have your $35 order that will get you the card kit to go. So something to think about anyway. I hope you love them. Let me turn my camera back up and around. There we go. So thank you everyone for joining me. I'm always humbled and that you would spend your lunchtime on Mondays with me. I will be back here Thursday for another Tuttle Thursday tip. And I look forward to seeing a lot of you then. So God bless everybody, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye-bye. There we go. Bye-bye.